Welcome to A Taste for Design, where today we're going to take a walk on the wild side. A Taste for Design incorporates food, wine, and home design. Traveling throughout New Jersey, visiting local businesses to bring you tastes of inspiration. Welcome to the very first episode of A Taste for Design. Each show will have a theme, and then we'll travel around New Jersey visiting local businesses, sampling food and wine and learning about design, all fitting into the theme of the episode. I'll get to taste the food and wine, and you'll get to know the store owners. You'll get a taste of inspiration and see what their businesses have to offer. The theme of today's show is Animal Magnetism, where we'll focus on animal prints and metallic paint. We're going to begin today with our design segment in a room I worked on for teenage girls, which set the theme for today's show. Are you ready to have some fun? Come on, let's go. Today we're going to visit the home of one of my clients. It's a split level, which is very typical style here in northern New Jersey. On the first level, there's a long, narrow family room, and basically, the family just passed through this room to get upstairs. There's an awkward layout with the couch at one end and the TV at the other end. We are now giving the room a whole new purpose. Since the boys already have a man cave space in the basement, we decided the girls of this house needed a space they could call their own. The first order of the day was removing the wall-to-wall carpeting and laying down hardwood floors to match the rest of the house. Then we upgraded the beadboard to a heavier wainscoting. Then it was my turn. The girls wanted purple walls and animal prints. The only problem was it's the first room you see as soon as you enter the house. So we took their ideas and toned them down a bit so Mom could be happy too. Instead of black and white animal prints, we went with a softer gray and white. In this case, I used a metallic silver glaze by Benjamin Moore. Then, instead of glaring purple walls, we used a toned down smoky lavender. We'll talk about the top half of the walls in the next episode when we talk about the Affinity color line by Benjamin Moore. So inspiration can come from anywhere. Just look around you. Look at your bag, a pillow, a suitcase, a towel, your favorite pair of shoes, even your cell phone. I painted a variety of different animal prints from zebra to cheetah, leopard, tiger, and giraffe. To see samples of the spots and stripes, I simply Googled animal prints and printed it out. If you don't want to try your hand at painting yourself, you can always hire a decorative artist. Another option would be to use wallpaper. Yes, wallpaper. It's making a comeback, but it's not your mother's wallpaper. There are lots of new, exciting, and modern trends happening in the design world. We'll talk more about wallpaper and interior design in a minute. But first, let's go take a ride to McGrath's Paint and Hardware in New Providence, where I got the metallic paint. Today I'm going to use silver, but you actually have quite a few choices in your colors that you can get in metallics. If you look in the metallic brochure, these are some of the pre-mixed colors, and you can actually mix them if you like. I've tried the silver before and it was too dark for what I was using for it, so I mixed the silver and the pearl together. But there's also these colors here that can actually be tinted in the store. Now, the best way to get the best looking finish with the metallics is to try to closely match the base coat of the paint to the metallic. So if you're going to use, let's say, a soft green, you want to use a soft green base coat first and then do the soft green over the green. That's how you get the most subtle finish. Otherwise, you're going to get something like this that looks very busy. If you want something subtle, you match silver to silver. If you want it busier, then you put a different color underneath. Now let's use the glaze. You can roll it on or you can brush it on. Today I'm going to brush it on. And as I brush it on, you're going to see that you can see the brush strokes. So the way we want to get rid of the brush strokes is to use a cheesecloth. And you can use a sponge if you like, a damp sponge, but I think that that takes too much of the glaze off. The most subtle finish, which is what I want to go for today, is using a cheesecloth. So you can take a small piece of this, and I'm going to cut a piece that fits in the palm of my hand. And then I'm going to just roll it up in a ball, put it in the palm of my hand, and then we're going to just tap out the brush strokes. And there you go. There's your metallic finish. So who's the Paint Diva? Me. I am a decorating, staging, and color consultant. Basically, I help people choose their paint colors and specialize in Benjamin Moore colors. I go to people's homes and help them choose paint colors, and I also work a couple days a week at McGrath's in New Providence as their decorating and color consultant. Believe it or not, I did not make up the name, the Paint Diva. One day a customer walked into the store and said, "So you're the Paint Diva?" At first I was concerned about the word diva because it could imply that I have a diva attitude. But she said, "Oh no, it's a compliment. It means you're very good at what you do and you know your stuff. Everyone knows about you and we all send everyone we know to come see you." Which is true. It seems everyone refers everyone to come to see me, which is great because I love what I do. I love to help people and they seem very relieved to have my help. Since being dubbed the Paint Diva, I've also been called the Paint Lady, the Paint Doctor, the Paint Guru, and my other favorite, the Paint Whisperer. But the Paint Diva is the one I chose to keep, and I use it for my website, the Paint Diva of New Jersey, and the website is thepaintdivanj.com. People often ask me how I got started being the Paint Diva. Well, I actually was a mural artist and faux finisher for about 15 years. So people used to ask me to paint all sorts of things. For instance, they would ask me to paint their light switch covers to match the tile backsplash in their kitchen. So not only did I have to match the colors, I also had to match the texture as well. You may think that having a color consultant help you to choose your paint colors is a new concept, but it's certainly not a new idea to Benjamin Moore. I'm sure you know of Betty Crocker and Aunt Jemima, the fictional characters that represented those food companies. Well, before the 1930s, Benjamin Moore created their own character known as Betty Moore. They ran ads with photos of Betty that said, "Write to me for free color or decorating advice. I'll gladly send you color schemes for the inside or outside of your home." The company's decorating department employed many representational Betty Moores who assisted consumers with their color and design dilemmas. Color consulting over the airwaves is not a new concept either. In 1930, Betty Moore presided over regular weekly radio programs offering color and decorating guidance. Over the years, a succession of actresses played Betty Moore. So I guess you could say Betty Moore is the original Paint Diva. On every show, I'll be sharing my Diva blog and Diva pin. For those of you that don't use the computer very much, these may be foreign words to you. A blog is like an article that people write about any particular subject, like their life, their travels, or their passions. People create their own websites and share pictures and write stories or blogs. There are tons of food and wine and interior design blogs. We'll visit wine stores to taste wines each episode as a video wine blog. I'll do my own blog about paint and design, and sometimes I may even share a great blog I found by someone else. There are also great websites out there that people who are remodeling use as a resource. Sites like Houzz and Pinterest are sites where you can create your own page and then look at what other people are doing, and if you find something you like, you can save it to your page and create your own idea book. For instance, if you're remodeling a bathroom, you can find a sink you like from one page, a faucet from another, a great paint color from another. You can also pin recipes, party ideas, and you name it. Many times, customers have brought me pictures of inspiration they've found from websites like this. Many of the businesses we're going to visit on this show have their own Pinterest pages that you can follow to get ideas from them. I'll pin ideas I found on each episode, and then I'll share them again on the show's website and Facebook pages. I also have a Pinterest page that you can follow as the Paint Diva. Today for my Diva blog, we're going to talk about the metallic paints. Now, first of all, the metallics by Benjamin Moore are really not a paint, they're a glaze, and they need to be applied as a glaze. But I'm going to share with you a couple of ideas of some unexpected ways to use the metallics, where it can brighten up a dark space, or you can even use them on the ceiling. Now let's talk about wallpaper. Mary LaVecchia is my friend and one of the first designers I worked for when I first started out painting murals and faux finishes full-time about 16 years ago. She's a designer at Creative Wall Coverings with my other friend, Virginia Liberato. I couldn't think of anyone better to talk to than these two ladies when it comes to talking about wall coverings. We're here at Creative Wall Coverings and Interiors in New Providence, New Jersey, and I'm here with designers Virginia Liberato and Mary LaVecchia, and they're going to talk to us today about using animal prints in our interiors. So ladies, what do you say? Let's go sit down and have a chat. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. So not long ago, I went to visit the mansion in May, the Glen Ellen Mansion. It's a very old traditional Tudor that was also used as an office space, I understand, for many years. And I saw the room that you ladies designed. When I looked at the before pictures, I saw it was nothing, just a plain box of a room, an office building with nothing but a fluorescent light. And how do you go from something, such a plain, dark space like that, to such an incredibly beautiful design?
One of the ideas we came up with, because it was a dark English Tudor, was to make sure that lighting was a key element in our design.
Right, and then as we're brainstorming as a team, we also came up with the color concept of doing a gray and yellow theme, being that gray is now the new neutral, and we wanted the room to feel sunny and bright, so therefore the yellow that we brought into it. So in doing that, we then layered in all of the light reflective surfaces to give that nice cast of light everywhere.
And we were lucky enough, as you said, to walk into a room that was a blank canvas, so we could add all the millwork, the bookcases, the ceiling treatment, and that was all our design concept. And we then added the metallic brass cloth to the ceiling to reflect light, the silk on the walls, again, beautiful light reflective yellow. There were lots of other places we added.
It was when you walked into the space, you just felt that glow and you didn't exactly know where it was coming from because you were surrounded by it. The desk was lucite, so it felt translucent and you could see through it. So we had a lot of positive response to the light, being that it was a dark home.
Recently, I went to visit the Fortnightly Club in Summit, and I understand that also was a designer showcase a couple of years ago, and you ladies also did a beautiful sunroom. Once again, little bits of animal prints.
Well, we feel that it's a great way to add another level of pattern or texture to a room, and we have some examples in the library of some classics to show you.
Okay, great, let's go.
So Cindy, for our viewers at home, when they think of animal prints, we feel that this is normally what they would think of, the true authentic colors, the scales in the natural forms, the browns and the blacks and the tans.
And some of the history of animal prints goes back to royalty. Kings would have animals mounted in their castles, and maybe some rugs of animals. And then in the 1960s, animal prints became very fashionable in fashion and crossed over to interior design soon after.
So I love what you put out here. I see we have a little cheetah and zebra and leopard and tiger, and look, I'm running my hands on here because it's so soft. And tell me a little bit about how you would use something like this.
I mean, something like this would be used more for a throw, like over the end of a bed or a sofa as an accent.
And then I noticed we've got some crocodile here. I could maybe see this as a seat on a chair,
right?
Maybe.
And really all these great velvets, they're a great place for just a little pop on pillows, headboards, you know, anywhere. It really depends on how daring our customers would like to get.
It's just another great design element.
Now ladies, I am doing a room for teenage girls. And I know the colors that these girls love. They love their lime greens, aqua blues. If they still love pink and purples, it's gotta be color, color, color. They love their color. So let's pretend that I have unlimited budget.
Fun.
And I'm gonna come in here and I've asked you to pull out some things for me that we could potentially use in the room. Now this is exactly the color that we painted our room, and we did zebra and leopard prints below. But another option is that people could use wallpaper. I love this lime green zebra print paper. So show me a couple of other options that we could.
Sure, well, instead of using the purple on the wall, like you were saying, we could do the lime green zebra wallpaper, and then we could use purple as our fabrics.
This would actually make a great accent wall, even maybe behind the bed, like an entire zebra print accent wall.
Absolutely. You know, it's got a lot of color, but I think it still is subtle enough,
right?
You know, to be used for the whole room too. So, for a teenage girl, we want to do something fun. A little electrified pillow like this would be exciting.
And then there's a sheer, right? Do I see a sheer
to
to go
do
on
a
the
nice
windows?
Roman shade in the sheer, and do some panels outside of that, maybe in the purple. Maybe with a little green banding to incorporate the green wall.
Right.
And then this nice stripe helps bring in all the colors. I would use that for the bed skirt. Again, bring up a pillow.
Love it.
Well, Cindy, it was so sweet of you to stop by and visit us here at Creative.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Now, speaking of sweet, we're gonna move on, and I have a really special treat for you next. Now, I'll bet you're wondering what kind of food could possibly fit into the theme of today's show about animal prints and metallic paint. Well, you're in for a treat. We took a ride up the parkway to meet Lisa Rochelle, who owns Sweet Grace Cake Designs. Since we're focusing on a room for teenage girls who love their animal prints, let's see what Lisa can cook up for us today. Hi Cindy, welcome.
Hi Lisa, how are you?
It's good to see you again. Great to see you. So this is Lisa Rochelle. She's the owner of Sweet Grace Cake Design in Haworth, New Jersey. She does beautiful cakes, and we're gonna have a seat and we're gonna talk about the whole process.
Great.
So Lisa, I know you were not always in the cake business. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into this?
Well, I have worked on Wall Street for 20 years. I was in finance, I was an equity research analyst, loved it. Did cakes on the side for my children, and our family has been in the cake business for 20 years.
Okay.
So I decided to start my own business.
Good for
That
you.
was 3 years ago, and we're growing really fast.
So what I'd like to do here is let's pretend that we're doing a consult, and we'll pretend that I'm having a Sweet 16. What's the first step? What do we do?
Well, my prospective clients will either email me or call me.
Okay.
And we'll set up a consultation. We are by appointment only, so then I encourage them to bring in some inspiration items, such as their dress photos, invitation, the color scheme. So they'll bring those items in with them. And so typically the mother and the daughter come in. I prepare a tasting for them. Animal prints, almost, I would say 80% of the Sweet 16 cakes include animal prints.
Wow.
Zebra and cheetah are the leopard, most popular animal prints for the girls.
I've also heard that kids like to make their own logos now.
Yes, many of the cakes. I'd say
Really?
over half of the cakes. The girls and boys for bar mitzvahs will send me a logo. They'll send it a digital form, and then I'm able to print that out on edible paper, edible ink, and so it looks exactly like it was designed.
So they'll design their own logo, email it to you, you scan it, put it into the computer, and then you print it on edible paper.
Yes.
Wow,
so
that's
it can
really
go right
cool.
on the cake, exactly as
So we're going to give an example of that. I gave you my logo,
Yes.
and we're going to put that on a
put your
cake,
logo
right?
on
Oh, I
the
can't
cake.
wait to see it. I'm so excited. Why don't we take a walk in the back, and you can show me how this whole process happens.
Great.
Okay, great. We are here in the kitchen, and I'm just so excited. I feel like I'm 16, and we made a sweet 16 cake just for me. The order of the day was animal prints, metallic, and I actually emailed you my logo, and you were actually able to put the logo on my cake. This is so exciting. I absolutely love it. So Lisa, tell me a little bit about how you do this. First, tell me about metallic, the metallic icing.
Yeah, so it's actually paint. It's very popular for lots of different cakes. We start with a dust, and so it's a gold metallic dust. We also have silver and pearl. What I do is I mix this with an alcohol, so when you put it on the cake, the alcohol will evaporate and only the dust will remain. So it turns into this, which looks just like a paint, and you can make it as thick or as thin as you'd like.
Okay.
So then I take this paint and I paint it on the cake. And I start with just making, for the leopard, I just put little dots. And the one advantage of leopard print is that it's very irregular.
Yes.
So you don't need a very steady hands. That's the one thing. So you can just have fun putting dots on the cake. Then I take black.
Okay.
Also, it's an edible paint. Much thicker, but you want a very thin brush at this point. Okay. And I just put the outside, again, steady hand is not vital for this, and I just do the little squiggle lines around the outside.
So I do want to mention, obviously we're starting on 3 tiers of cake covered with fondant, right, as well.
Yes.
And what do? You cover each layer with the fondant first, and then you stack it?
That's right. Icing the cake is vital, which is what my staff is doing today. You have to have a perfectly iced cake in order to put the fondant, because any imperfection in the icing will show through the fondant. And then we stack it. We put dowel rods in there to give it support. Internal support is very important, so the cake is very heavy when you put all this together. It would just collapse on itself if you didn't have that internal supports. And then we start decorating.
And this is the fun part.
Yes, and also these feathers are not edible, but they're very popular with girls. They love them on their Sweet 16 cakes.
I've seen that. So I asked her to do a special cake for me with my Diva leopard shoe. I absolutely love this. And I can't believe you even put a logo inside the shoe. It's so great. Tell me how you did this.
Well, shoes are a multi-day process because there's lots of drying time involved. So I probably do it the same way that the actual shoe designer does it. I make the heel, and then I have to make the sole and allow that to dry 4 or 5 days so it's nice and sturdy. And then I carefully design it by putting the side and the back on. And I hand painted it. This one I used silver metallic paint, as well as the box is silver metallic. And while that's not typically what leopard skin looks like, that I decided that it would be fun to have a different color on this print.
And even the red heel, love it. It's so cute. So cute. I absolutely love it. So it's actually, it's made out of gum paste, so it is edible, but nobody really eats them.
People save it. So the best thing to do is keep it as a keepsake, put it in a box with some cloth, and just keep it away, and you can bring it out.
Absolutely. I would absolutely do that. So Lisa, thank you so much for inviting us here to your shop and seeing what you do. And I would say the only thing left that we haven't done is taste some cake.
Okay, we have some for you.
What are we having here today?
Today, this is our client favorite, which is red velvet with cream cheese icing.
Looks good. Salud. Delicious.
For today's wine segment, we'd like to share a website that we found that offers animal print gifts for wine lovers. Today you met Cindy, the Paint Diva. Now we'd like to introduce you to the Wine Diva. The Wine Diva has everything from animal print napkins to wine sacks, and yes, even our favorite, wine stoppers shaped like animal print shoes.
To find the schedule for future episodes and to learn more about the featured businesses on today's episode, be sure to visit our webpage at atastefordesign.com. You also will find the links to our blogs and pins. And be sure to like us on Facebook as well. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Make sure to join us next time for the second part of this episode, where we'll talk about paint color selection, stencils, and a few other surprises. I hope you had as much fun as I did. I thought it was pretty divalicious.